Hello everyone, this is Mr. Miller, and if you are watching this video, it means that you are trying to do your horror essay. If you are in honors, I apologize, all these stories here are going to be about regular, except for blood, so that is what I'm going to use because it's this one story that both classes learned, and that's it. So before you get started, when you have your rough draft out, you should also have your graphic organizer out. And then after that, you should highlight the story. You should either highlight Blood, The Lottery, Hey You Down There, or The Monkey's Paw, or if you're in honors, whatever story you got. And what you're going to do is you're going to highlight the story you want to write about the most. For this example, I'm just going to use Blood because it's the easiest one for both classes. I want to pick Blood. Okay? And then I got to pick 3 different things from these boxes, the horror elements, that I think I could write about the most. Okay, so, and it can be whatever you want it to be, but you have to have 3. So I'm going to pick the setting. I think the setting is interesting, and I like the supernatural events in the story. Let's just say that, for example, and I like the theme. All right, so first thing I'm going to do is I am going to go here, and I'm going to write just blood. And then I'm going to go back, and I have my 3 reasons why, and I'm going to write them down right here. So setting, after setting would be, what else do I got? My supernatural events. Supernatural events. And then the third reason that I'm going to pick my story is the source is going to be the theme. Okay, so I got those 3. It doesn't matter if they're different sizes or whatever, it's not a big deal. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to make a hook. If you're watching this video, I'm going to give you permission to write the same hook I wrote. It doesn't matter, it's your first one. It is very hard to do. It takes a little bit of practice, so that's why I'm going to let you copy it. So and there's my hook. And then after this, I'm going to find the brief summary of everything. And this part you cannot do write word for word what I write because that'd be plagiarism because I'm going to write my own. All your stories are right here. They're all, even if you pick the hitchhiker, they're all right here. So like all the hyperlinks are right here. So if you don't remember something, you do that. They're all right here. And same thing with honors. Your stories are there too. So when you write the brief summary, you'd put the story first, and you always put them in quotation marks as a short story. In other essays, it will not be like that. And you start by saying blood by Okay, then I write a little short brief summary, and it should be about 4 to 6 sentences. 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 4. If you want to write more, that's fine, but it doesn't need to be that. You don't have to ruin the ending either. Just leave it like that to give the reader, which would be me, something to look forward to. That's what you would do. And your thesis statement is your 3 reasons why you think your story is the best in the horror genre. So I would just say, because of, and then I'm going to go over and look at my 3 reasons. Setting, and then supernatural events, and the theme. That's what I would do. You just, and that's how you end the intro paragraph. Now we're going to go to body paragraph 1, and then you would say the first reason why why Blood is the best story is because of, then you're going to talk about your first reason, which for me is going to be the setting. Okay, I just leave it like that. And then right here, you're going to find a quote, which means you're going to go into the story and then find something word for word, and you're going to need to cite it to be able to prove it, or else it is plagiarism. So, and then I will show you how to do that right now. So a great example of the setting can be found on page 1. And then I put a period, and then when you quote something, you put in quotation marks. And I have my paper right here, so I don't need to bring up the online thing. But if you needed the book, that's fine. So I would just go like this. Few. Okay, so when you're done with your quote, you put quotation marks there. It means every single thing you have is right here. Like, that's right from the text. You have the information. It is not plagiarizing. It's not stealing. It's just proving that you read it. And at the end, you need to have a citation, which is going to look like this. These are all the names of all the writers. So what happens is you use the author's last name. You space it, put a 1, and then you put your period there. That's how you quote something. All right, and then after that, you have to explain your quote. So I would like, this quote proves, the quote proves that the setting place in a pet store, pet shop. Other horror stories do not take place. Pet store. Okay, that's how you end it. I just improving why it's the best. So this quote proves that the setting of Blood takes place in a pet shop. Other horror stories do not take places in places like takes place in, I'm going to say in a regular place. Place like a pet shop. Regular, normal place. This makes the unique and creepy, which happens nowhere else in the horror unit. Okay, then you're going to go to the closing sentence, and what you're going to do is you're going to scroll all the way down here, and we're going to find a way to conclude in this box. So I'm going to say, I'm going to just go to sum up. Why? Okay. When you do body paragraph 2, you're going to talk about your second reason. But before we have to start it with a sentence starter. So I'm going to go down here. So I would say, I'm going to go down here to add more ideas. I'm going to say, in addition, Blood. And then I'm going to look at what my number 2 is. in the story. Okay, and since I did body paragraph 1, it is just a repeat of body paragraph. Body paragraph 2 is just a repeat of body paragraph 1, so I'm not going to go through all of it because it's just all the same. So like it's just here. What you're going to do then is like, and then you got to find it yourself. I will leave it like that, and then you would start here by saying like, this quote proves because, and then you would explain yourself, and then you would go down here. I'm not going to do the closer for you because you can find one for yourself. You just find one right here in the conclusion area. That's what you do. And then we're going to go to body paragraph 3. It's the same thing. I'm going to leave this blank because I don't need to do it. I did it the first time. It is the exact same thing, except we're talking about your third thing. So for me, it would be the theme. I would talk about my theme. Okay. And then here in the closing paragraph, I'm going to actually go up and I'm going to grab this. Okay. And I'm going to take my thesis from here and I'm going to plug it in right here. I don't need to do anything else. And then you're just going to explain everything by, and I'm going to highlight this so I can see, and I'm going to make them nice and different so I can see that. So I can understand there are 3 different things. And blue. And then I'm going to be like, okay. So what I do is I go through each one, setting, supernatural events, and theme. I just explain with like 1 to 2 sentences why they're important. So I say blood has the best setting, takes place in an average everyday pet shop. No one ever suspects something scary to happen in a pet shop, which makes the story scary. Then I say secondly, comma, blood has great supernatural events. The blood of the narrator heals people, which causes the narrator to be killed. No other horror story has such a gross supernatural event. Finally, the theme, what does it say? Oh, the theme is the best because it can be related to real life. Lying is bad and everybody should know this. And then I would wrap it up by going down here to the bottom, and then I would say, thus, and that's how it ended. And I wouldn't have that. So that's how you do your rough draft. If you need more help, simply ask, and I will help you. It's as easy as that. Thank you for watching.